5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space, with news and information on our U.S. space program. Is your host of About Space, David Denault.
It's a whole planet out there with a complicated history. That history is a story that's stored in the rocks, and our job is to figure out that story and what that story of that planet tells us about this planet that we live on.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me today. That was Jim Bell, a team member and planetary scientist at Arizona State University, describing another milestone in searching for the possible existence of life on Mars and, for the first time, returning samples back to Earth. It will be another step closer in preparing for man to land on the Red Planet. More on this historic adventure next on About Space Today. Are you ready to fly away on a dream vacation? For cruises and all-inclusive resort vacations, call D&D Cruise and Tours at 877-747-8631. That's 877-747-8631. And see us on Facebook, D&D Cruise and Tours, where your dreams become a reality. Welcome back. The 2020 rover mission is scheduled for a July 20 liftoff from Cape Canaveral, Florida, and land in the Jezero crater in February 2021. Well, what will the rover do once it reaches the Martian surface? Jack Mustar is the team chair from Brown University who explains.
The recommendations of the Science Definition Team to NASA are to fly a rover of similar capabilities to the Curiosity rover that's still on Mars, that would land in the same way and have about the same size. And we are recommending that they equip that rover with instrumentation that allows it to explore the surface of Mars in one site, which will have relevance or importance to understanding past habitability. Did it have the conditions necessary to sustain life? And to look for signatures or rocks that may hold signatures of biological significance. This that I'm holding up here is a classic biosignature from the Earth. It's a fossil. We're not actually expecting to see a fossil of shells or other components, but what we want to be able to see are, with this instrumentation, are the fine scale layering that one might see in a rock, in which we can see dark and light toned layers. And those dark and light toned layers are telling a story. The human flight component would like to see an experiment where resources on the surface of Mars, from the rocks or the atmosphere, could be used to generate fuel or other parts that would enable future exploration in cutting the tie, so to speak, to Earth. So you wouldn't necessarily have to bring everything with you. You can actually manufacture it on the planet. And that's a really exciting additional component that we've been exploring and analyzing in this work.
Jack Mustar, team chair for the 2020 rover scientific mission. Thank you for joining me today, and be sure to follow us on Facebook at aboutspace.today with launch details and more. And listen to part 2, Life in Planetary Rocks of Mars, this Friday with Rick Potluck from our Washington Bureau of America in Space series. And don't forget to share our program with your family and friends. Join me next Tuesday for part 3, To Mars and Back. I'm David Denault, and this has been About Space Today.